I don't think the two people on the stage right now need any introduction, but I would like to welcome Daisy and Neil from Yoseka Stationery to the stage. Thank you so much for taking my request to get you up here on stage. A little behind the scenes, they were not on the original list. And I said, well, I think we should make that happen. So I think everyone knows who you are, but I would like you to give a little quick introduction about you, Yoseka, and why we're all here celebrating at Stationery Fest.
Thanks, Brad. I'm just so glad you're here. It's great to see, it's like surreal to see you here, and amazing that you're like doing interviews on this stage with us at Stationery Fest. So thank you. Neil and I started Yoseka Stationery in 2017. It was just a pop-up to begin with. We had this idea to introduce Asian stationery here. You know, Asian stationery is like where Neil grew up. His parents have a stationery store in Taiwan. He grew up in the stationery store. I grew up with a lot of Asian stationery, like fun stationery, cute, very playful, very fun, very trendy, colorful, and like for all personalities, like, you know, like for all interests. So we wanted to like kind of introduce that here. And we quickly realized that people's definition of stationery here is very different. And like we started off just online, but we got inquiries for like, oh, do you do wedding invitations? You know, things like that. So we're like, okay, we need to define what stationery is to us in the first place. And to us, stationery is anything that's on the desk. So that's kind of what we ran with the next few years, doing pop-ups, opening our first shop. And along the way, we learned that stationery is so personal. It's different to everybody, and everyone who tries it has a different opinion on it. So it's really like what you make of it, and it's really an interactive experience. So that's how our store came to be, and that's kind of how Stationery Fest came to be, actually. Yeah. Do you agree with that?
I totally agree.
I'll make Neil answer this question. So I know when I had my day job, chose to make a change to what I do now for a living, I think most people told me that was a bad idea. So I'm wondering what your feedback was like when you said, hey, we're going to open a stationery shop in New York City. What was that process like? Because it's not easy what you do, and you do it so well.
Thank you so much. Well, we started really doing the pop-up, especially the pop-up days, where we really want to introduce the Asian stationery to the people. We found that process very rewarding because part of it is that interaction, talking to everyone and having that interaction, and you kind of forget about like you have a day job. Especially, I don't know if everyone knew that, but I was a software engineer. So on my day-to-day basis before, I did not really talk to a lot of people, and I would speak to hundreds of people over one weekend. So that was like such an amazing feeling. And then to have people enjoy that experience, that moment with you, I think that was really precious for me. And I think that's what fuels this journey at the beginning and to the shop to where we are today. I think that passion is kind of what drove here. And I feel like I don't want to speak for everyone, but I think for everyone on our team, they also share that as well. They feel like they're part of this, building this whole thing together. And today we are realizing the impact we have, which is amazing. If anyone find that, having a day job and find something that they are very passionate, I think go for it. Yeah, yeah.
So you kind of alluded to this in your answer here, and one of the things I discovered, the more I get to know you, the more I read about you, the more that I get involved in what the Yoseka Stationery story is that you really have a focus on allowing people to try things, right? That think that's at the core of your business, the way you design a storefront, right? Why is that so important for y'all to create an experience like that for your customers?
I think that we get asked so many times when people come in the store, what's the best pen, or like what's a fountain pen? And I think that there's no way that I can explain it in words better than if somebody just picks one up and tries it out, for the first time, because that will tell you all you need to know about it, right? And it's the easiest way for someone to learn about something is just doing it. It's not something that we knew the whole time we've been doing this, but it's something we learned from talking to people and from showing and like having to set up like a market table at the pop-ups all the time and explaining the difference between a gel pen and a ballpoint pen versus, or like a smooth paper and a toothy paper, is just, just kind of pick one up and try it out and let me know what you think. And there's no wrong answers here. Like if that doesn't feel good to you, then there's something else for you. Just tell me what you're thinking. And it's like kind of like a give and take. And that's what that interactive experience is all about, because you bring your opinions to it, and that is so important for your experience with stationery. Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's exactly right. Everyone's different, right? Everyone uses the products differently. Everyone feels things differently with the different pens. So having the opportunity to come and test that at your store and now here at Stationery Fest is pretty cool. So let's talk about Stationery Fest. When did this idea first come up that maybe we want to put together a larger stationery show, a pop-up on steroids, if you will? When did this idea come up?
Well, I think Neil was very inspired when he came back from like SF Pen Show last year with the team, and it was very cool to see community there take place and just the excitement and the people, and just for our team members being able to like meet people who knew who they were and then just talking about things. And so that's kind of like when the idea first sparked last year. But I think it was just a dream, like a distant dream. And then, I don't know, like at the beginning of this year, Neil and I always think about what we're doing for this year, like what direction the team will be going on for any given year. We think about that every single year. And this year, our word that we chose was community. And Stationery Fest just seemed like the answer, like to what we wanted to do this year. So it didn't start off in this space. It started off as the workshop space upstairs. That was the first space we rented for this. And we knew we wanted the workshops and the community meetups to be a big component of it. So as we started thinking about it more and more, we realized, we really need more space. And hopefully this is enough space. I don't know.
Yeah, we started. We really had the idea after SF Angel, like you said, and so we were very inspired by that. And then we came back to New York. New York has a Long Island Pen Show, so we did reach out to the organizer at that time, and the original idea was actually, hey, I can find a space for you. Would you like to bring the exhibitors here, and let's make it happen? So that didn't work out. So we thought, hey, why not? We started reaching out to all the exhibitors first, and following our goal this year to build out, extending our shop to the community. Actually, through our store, these interactions that we have on the table near the shop, friendships start to happen within the store. The community happens. So it's like, it just feels like the right thing to do, to push it, and it's a good challenge. Yeah, so we reached out to a lot of brands, and then everyone started to be on board, and then that's how this came about. Yeah.
For me to hear you say that the majority of this happened within a year or less it doesn't compute, because this is a lot. Like I know a lot of people who put on a lot of shows, and that's a really impressive amount of work. And now it's here. Today is day one. What are your feelings when you look around, and what expectations did you have before today happened? Like, could you even allow yourself to think about that? And what do you think about now when you see this?
I mean, there were definitely some nerves coming into today. We had, a lot of things on the mind. But I think I got here at 8 a.m. today. And check-in is supposed to start at 9 a.m. And I was sitting in the store, and I heard some voices outside the store when I was in the back of the store, and I looked outside and there were about 5 people, and they were there to check in early. And then as I was waiting, it got to 8:30, closer to 9 o'clock, and I just heard like louder and louder voices, like people laughing, people making friends while they were waiting. And I just kind of knew like, oh, this is going to be great, because like everybody's so nice, and everyone in the station, I'm constantly saying this, the stationery community is filled with like the nicest people. Every day I'm reminded of it, and every day it's just like such a pleasure to meet people and just be reminded of why we get to do this, and how lucky we are to get to do this. So I was sitting in the store and I was just kind of like, okay, it's gonna be okay. Like everybody's just like gonna be great, just like I know they are, and everyone's making friends already, and that's what we wanted to happen here. That's what we wanted to happen.
I think that's the big question is, you put all this work and bringing all these people together. What do you want people to take away from this, right? Like, this is very important, I think, for the community as a whole. As I talked to both of y'all when I first expressed my interest in coming, I told you, and this is 6 months ago, that I felt like I had to be here, right? Like, I feel like it's an important part of the community. So what is your takeaway, or what do you want people to take away from this event that are coming to see Stationery Fest?
Personally, I think that I just want people to make a few friends in the stationery community, feel like they're closer to people who maybe they don't necessarily live in the same city as, but they can keep in touch with, they can talk about, they can share their passion with. And also, I want this to be a little bit of a learning experience. There's like so much in the stationery community. Like I was saying, like our definition of stationery is everything on the desk, anything that you use every day as a tool, as a creative tool. So that can be so much, and it can be what you make of it too. So there's a lot to be learned in the community, even a lot more than just this, right? A lot more than just this. But I hope that people can learn about a new stationery brand here, discover a new artist that they didn't know about before, whose work that they love and they want to support. And I think it's so cool that a lot of the people that you're talking with here are the creators of the brands and the artists themselves. So, I encourage everybody to like talk to them and like get to know them, because that's really, really cool. And that's what I want.
Yeah, I think that's one of my favorite answers when I go to events is, people want to know, what did I come away with? What did I buy? And it's like, you know what? I came away with friends and relationships and stories. Those things will stick with me. And I think that's what we're all getting from Stationery Fest, right? When we all go home from this, we can show off our stickers and our pens and our ink, but we're going to keep talking about the stories that happened while we were here. And I thank y'all for putting this together to allow these stories to happen, to give us this space to make a community, to grow it. And you're certainly wonderful stewards for that. So I really appreciate you and everything that you do. And I got to get you out on one final question. When did you get less sleep? When you had your newborn, or in the last month leading up to Stationery Fest?
Daisy is going to talk about this, but somehow I can sleep through baby crying.
No, I'm definitely getting more sleep now. Okay. Any moms out here, I shout out to all the moms. The working moms, the moms, like all the moms. I'm definitely getting more sleep now. And I want to like credit our team for that. Like, we have given our team so much of the responsibility, and they're running this with us 100%. They're running with us, and I'm gonna cry. They're amazing. They're amazing, and I trust them so much.
It shows that every time I've seen you, from showing up this morning, there is actual calm in you. Maybe not on the inside, but on the outside. And that's because you have a staff that cares and that loves you and believes in this. So I don't know what more you can ask for. So it's great. So thank y'all so much for allowing us to talk about these things out loud that we don't get to talk about at home. And just putting this together, having us all here, and you've done an amazing job, not just for this event, but for the community as a whole. So thank you very much.
Thank
Thank you
you.
so
Thank you.